Alright, so welcome back to the channel. I want to go ahead and address the fact that I have not made a long form video in a while, even short form. Been having a couple issues with my camera, my Sony, so I went ahead and got a Osmo Pocket 3 from DJI. Hopefully this does do good. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a shot here. Let me know how it works. But as you saw from the title, I want to go ahead and do a comparison with two firearms that I have. Clearly they look identical, but if you saw the title, you know exactly what we have. We have a Smith Wesson M&P Shield, the first gen, and we have a Smith Wesson M&P Shield Plus. Now, the reason we have the Plus is because my wife recently got that for her birthday, and she was carrying around my Smith Wesson Gen 1 and Shield Gen 1, and I was like, you know what, it's time for you to get your own. So we upgraded her to a better one. I'm a little jealous. I might get one myself, but yeah, so this is what we're doing. We're gonna go ahead and compare the two. The first one I have, I've actually had for about 9 years. I wanna say 9 years, going on potentially 10 very soon. It's in great condition because I stopped using it as my EDC. Well, hold on, before we continue. Clear. And clear. All right, so yes, as I mentioned, I stopped using this as my EDC because I carry my Glock more. I only carry this if I'm wearing something that isn't proper, in a sense that my Glock kind of prints a little bit more. So I would use this because it is, of course, smaller. It's considered a subcompact, or nowadays considered a micro. And again, I've had this for like 9 years, and I mean, looking next to it, apart from this little rust in the corner up top there, they look pretty clean, right? So let's talk about well, before we get into that, you can see they look identical in a sense, but there are not major, but there are differences that would make you choose the Plus over the original. Price point wise, I'm not 100% sure what this one is going for now, but this one was sub 500. I got this for my wife, like I said, as a gift. She originally wanted a pink Glock 43X, but we ended up getting this, so thankfully we got that. But let's talk about my original Smith Wesson M&P Shield. This one is, it came with, I'm gonna bring the mags in right here. This is a 7+1 mag and an extended 8+1 mag. So it sits, instead of sitting flush, it's good with the pinky, whereas the other one kind of has a hanging, right? But I mean, with or without the mags, these do look, I mean, it feels a little different, but these do look pretty much, pretty much the same, right? Like it's crazy how they look exactly the same, right? It's there, as you can see, it's a little different here. It's a little wider with the grip, but I'll explain about that later. So this gun, I've had it for years. My wife has carried it. She's felt comfortable. Felt comfortable with it, so I'm happy that she actually got the upgraded version, which allows her to have a better trigger and, of course, more capacity. So that's what we're gonna get into. So this trigger, a lot of people have an issue with this trigger. Again, there's nothing in here. And safe direction that way. So, well, there's nothing over there. But this trigger is a bit squishy, and a lot of people have issues with this. This is somewhat of a trigger that I see in the PSA daggers, and I compare it to this a lot. But I mean, I'm comfortable with this because I've had it for a while. Reset's not as audible because I would have liked it, but yes. So this again is something I've carried for a while. You can see the fish-like serrations up here, which does help for that, and you notice there's none up here, right? Again, remember that. Still easy to cock that there, pause, but it's still easy to rack without it, but it does help if you do have the serrations that look like fish scales, as you can see. Let's focus, there it is. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing really amazing about this firearm. It's very concealable, very small. It's not as aggressive here on the grip, whereas you're gonna see with this one. So I'm gonna compare it a little differently here. Now, with the M&P Shield Plus, it does look identical. It is a little bit thicker when it comes to the grip because it is instead of a single stack like this one, all right, you do get 10 with the flush one. Again, your pinky kind of hangs out, but still 10 versus the 7. And the extended gives you 13. Again, better than 8. Double stacked, right? So you would assume, you know, they look the same, they look identical, but this single stack will not fit in the Plus. And also, Plus's mags will not fit in the original one, right? So a major difference with the new gun, which I would recommend you get versus the old one, if you can, is I mentioned the fish scale slide serrations on the back. You do also have a little bit of them in the front. So again, that helps get the firearm racked, and then this helps a little bit better, all right? And the most noticeable thing, as you can see, is the improved trigger. So it's not squishy, it's not a good take, somewhat of a flat face trigger. It is it's more performance compared to the original one, where a lot of people do switch out this one for this trigger here, but this already comes with it, right? And you do also have an aggressive grip texture, which I really like. It's kind of sandpapery, and if you're sweaty or whatever you got going on with your hands, it's a better grip, much better grip than the regular M&P Gen 1. And you can see, let's bring them both up for a comparison. The original Plus. And again, I'm gonna point them out side by side. You do have the front serrations on the Plus, a better performance trigger on the Plus, and then the better ergonomic feel and the grip texture on the grip there. I mean, there's a little difference as well with the mag release. This mag release is a little shallow. This one pops out a little bit more. I believe they're ambi. Yeah, they are. You can swap them around. So if you're right-handed, left-handed, you can do ambidextrous with the Plus, and you can, I believe, yes, you can also do, I believe, don't quote me on that, I probably should have known that. Yeah, you can do ambi on the other one as well. But overall, I haven't shot this firearm. Well, I shot this one, yes. But I haven't shot this specific firearm. This is my wife's. But my friend does have a Plus as well, and I've shot his. And again, it is noticeable. 1, you do get more rounds. 2, this trigger pull is a little bit better. And then the ergonomics feel the same. It's a little bit thicker, so in my hand it feels great. Pause. And of course, being able, let me see if I get around the camera here. It's a great feel. I mean, obviously, you really don't see the difference in the two guns. I mean, I've have different guns, so I notice different things. They both have the 3 dots for the sights, for the iron sights. So there's no major difference amongst the two, but the flaws that this has were perfected on the Plus, hence the name Plus. So if you had to go ahead and choose amongst the two, obviously you go with this one, but it is a great starter gun. My wife, it's her starter gun. She's carried mine for years, and I'm happy she did, but it was time for her to have her own. Not that I'm gonna take this from her and carry it, but it's just 8 rounds in the world that we live in. It's not enough. And I mean, I know 10, I know, what is it, 10 and 13? Yeah, 10 plus 1 and 13 plus 1 isn't a big difference either, but trust me, it's a big difference compared to 8 and 7. And the question you're probably gonna ask is, oh, why do you need so much rounds? I'd rather have more than less. Let it be for home defense, let it be for self-defense if I'm just in a gas station at night, because you know gas stations at night are always like the worst place to be at, because that's when criminal activity happens. And yeah, I mean, it's just, I feel more comfortable her having a gun with one as safety. You obviously know I push Glock, but she wanted the Glock 19, I'm sorry, the Glock 43X in pink. Cool, that's great. We'll have that as a range gun, but not as a concealed. It's pink, first of all. And secondly, it doesn't have a safety. And this is her first firearm she owns. We have a daughter that's a toddler. I don't want her to get into anything. Obviously, things are locked up and safe, but this is a perfect find. It does also have one without a safety. So if you're not a fan of a safety, you don't have to get it, but we wanted to get a safety for her. Thing that she is able to use that's beginner friendly. It is small. It is a subcompact or a micro, as they call it now. But I know the recoil is going to be crazy compared to if she got a compact or a standard size firearm. But again, it's something she needs to have concealable based off the clothing that she has. She doesn't dress around her firearm. I do. So she doesn't, like, I'll get clothing that's like, yo, I'm not printing, or yo, I gotta go up a size in the pants because obviously I gotta carry a larger gun. That's me, that's not her. So overall, this gun's actually a very good firearm. I want her to go train with it. I want her to have fun with it. I want her to enjoy the things that I'm enjoying with this. And even when I'm not around, because I travel a lot for work, she knows where all the other firearms are, but knowing that she has her own gives her that sense of just ownership, right? She'll care more about it. So I'm happy she has her firearm. I'm happy that for a birthday gift, this is something she was cool with. I told a lot of people I bought her a firearm for her birthday, and they say I suck at giving gifts. You guys let me know, because that's the type of gifts I give. So yeah, but I just wanted to go ahead and give an update really quick on this firearm here. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to her using it. I know that, again, this is just a personal protection firearm, and it's probably nothing special to you guys, but to me, it's important that my wife embraces and starts to understand and not fear the firearm to a community and stuff like that. So the things you see on the news, that's very, very intimidating. The things you see on the news is very, very scary, because a lot of people like to go one way and make firearms look to be bad, and they're not. So in my eyes, if this is something she's accepting, I mean, when we first went to the first range when we were younger, she literally was terrified. She did not want to touch this thing. She did not want to be around these things. Till this day, she doesn't like the AR or the shotgun, but she's more comfortable. So as long as she's getting more comfortable around it, and I know, and she's even stressed to me that in a life or death situation, she knows to use it. She knows how to use it, and she knows that she'll have to use it. If she has to use it, she'll use it with all that fear and all that bad thought process out the window, right? So hopefully my wife doesn't have to encounter anything like that, but it's better to be prepared and have this than be unprepared and not have this, and then we need it, right? So again, that's that quote. It's better to be a warrior in a garden versus a gardener in a war, right? You want to be prepared. You may never ever have to use this thing, and that's cool. That's great. That's in a perfect world. But if you ever do have to use it, you train, you learn more about it. You don't have to buy multiple, right? That you're not like me, you're not like some of these other gun YouTube guys, these enthusiasts. Get one, get two, get three, but just get the ones you're comfortable with. And instead of buying so many different firearms, you buy ammo, you buy equipment to go shooting, you buy classes, you buy different things that teach you how to use your firearm properly, right? Because I could be good with one or two firearms and not own a collection, but it's just something I like and other guys like as well. But for you, or anybody who's a regular person, starting off with one firearm and potentially just having that one firearm is great. But the thing that people do is they get one firearm, and then what they do is they put it away, thinking that, yeah, because I own it, I'm going to be able to put shots on my target. I'm going to be able to control the recoil. I'm going to be able to know how this thing works without ever using it. It's like having a bicycle, buying it and putting it down, never ever trying to ride it. And then when the day you need to ride it, you attempt to ride it, and you don't know how because you never did it. You never learned to ride a bike. It's the same thing here. You can own this all you want, all right? It's great. It's her first firearm, but she's been to the range. She's shot multiple different guns, and she feels comfortable. And I'm happy she feels comfortable, because now she's going to feel comfortable with this, carrying it around, concealed, of course, and going to the range. Even on ladies' night, because on Mondays, I think ladies shoot free, and she's gonna go with her friends and kind of teach them and all that good stuff, right? It's great to defend yourself. This is the equalizer right here. If you're a 150-pound woman and you're coming up against a 250-pound man, this can level the playing field drastically. So this is important. Again, my main point here was to compare the two, and I got into kind of talking about the firearms themselves. But go ahead and get you one of these, because these things are worth it, you know? I mean, it's good to have in the collection, and it's good to have for your wife to give it a try. So